Hello and welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. We are currently 2-1 with Death and Taxes, and on the play for this game, which is great. Going down in a close one last game. This hand's very interesting. So we have 3 3-drops and no third land. We also don't have a turn 1 play or really anything against the fast combo decks of the format. Although this is a fine hand if I know the meta and know what my opponent is on, if they're on a fair deck, I don't. And I think I'm actually happy to mulligan this once, to see if we can maybe land a hand with either Aether Vial or Thalia. Well, you ask for it and you get it. So I think I'm pretty happy to keep this, drop a Vial, and then if the first one gets countered, we have a second one as backup. If we don't draw into a second land, we also have a turn 2 play of Vial, which isn't the worst, but yeah, this hand isn't too bad either. The new mulligan rule definitely makes it a lot better. So we'll keep this and bottom a Vial. No force is really nice. Polluted Delta. Okay, well we could just be dead. And if they're playing out this much fast mana so early, I'm going to assume so. They could be playing this to play around Thalia next turn, just so they don't have to pay the tax, but yeah, this isn't looking great. Oh, interesting. Okay, well Thalia's in the hand, just no white mana. They're so close to wishing for tendrils here. If they have a ritual effect, they can probably do it. It takes 1 to activate, and then they have an extra 3 through each of these, but they do have 3 cards in hand, and they have seen 3 different hands, so surely they can finish it off here. Thinking pretty hard though, so this could be interesting. Maybe they just didn't get the 7 that they needed. I think our best draw is definitely Thalia. If we don't draw Thalia, I don't think Port's enough. I'd say the Mirran's pretty dead in this matchup. The Thalia as well. They're okay ways to beat down, but I think we have adequate ways to beat down with a lot of our taxing effects like Thalia. Source to Plowshares, of course, pretty dead as well. wonder what they get here. Maybe they're trying to get a piece of the LED or Echoes combo. Alright, that's game one. So looking at combo, definitely like defense, Deafening Silence. Relic-Warder's fine. Rest in Peace is okay. Faerie Macabre is fine. Swords can definitely come out. I don't mind the Stoneforge package because it sort of empty the warrens, and if they're playing it, I don't mind taking out Tomik's. Palace Jail is just a little bit too slow. And I think we can drop a Mirran for a second Recruiter, just because the Recruiter's a little bit better in finding something like as free as Faerie Macabre or something a little bit better like Thalia. I think this is fine. We'll see how this plays out. No Deafening Silence, but a pretty good hand. The Revoker can name LED, which is pretty nice because it works against both pieces, so the combo and also just the Echoes combo. We also have a Stoneforge Mystic for something like sort of Fire Nice to turn all our creatures into threats. Charming Prince to gain some life or scry. Prelate as our lock piece, so I'm happy to keep this. I'm going to lead on the Karakas as well, because I want to try to get my stuff down without playing a Plains, which means that Massacre won't be turned on, so we'll see if we draw into something like a Port or a Wasteland. This might actually be a matchup where I just have to be a bit more aggressive with my mulligans and go towards something like a Deafening Silence on turn 1, or just like double Thalia turn 2. Brainstorm's always scary because it kind of feels like they have it. Another Revoker, okay. Definitely play one. Lion's Eye Diamond. Pass. Land and Brainstorm is interesting. Do you think if you drew into a fetch lane, you might want to play that instead? So maybe there's a line that I'm not seeing. Let's see what they do with the Ponder. They chose to shuffle. Okay. Obviously missing something. I really like the third land here. Prelates are always tough, so Massacre's the card that's really going to hurt me. Naming 4 turns off Massacre, Empty, Past in Flames, and Tendrils, but it doesn't really hit any of the removal that Storm would be playing, or bounce spells. Definitely attack first. Take a quick snip. I like doing these what's the plays. I'm just gonna name 4. I think the the biggest blowout is Massacre, so I'm happy to play the Prelate on 4. They could have Fatal Push, Chain of Vapor, Abrupt Decay, Echoing Truth. So really a good mix of 1 and 2 drops. Looks like maybe this hand again was just a little bit too fair. I did try to find a place for a third Deafening Silence on the board, which would have been great against my last matchup as well, but maybe it's in the... maybe it's the second part to Exile. Maybe I don't need the full 6 1 mana removal spells. I do have Council Judgment as well, so... I think because it is such a rough matchup that it's not such a rough matchup, but it is a matchup where I want my Deafening Silences on turn 1 a lot of the time, so I probably should be playing 3. Whereas decks with Path to Exile, you don't mind drawing into them. I think in response I'm just going to hit the Lotus Petal and Dark Ritual because I can, and it means they don't actually put them back into the deck. I might even hit the Chain of Vapor. Okay, not too bad. Deafening Silence is really nice, so if we get a turn, it's not looking too bad. Sadly not. Okay. This has got to be pretty close. They can play a Mox Opal, a Chromox as well. It's 2 mana. Wishclaw, Petal. They can Wishclaw for anything they want. Chromox again. I think we just concede. There's definitely no way we're gonna not lose there, so we'll hopefully see you in 5 to hopefully finish this off 3